As soon as we stepped into the courtroom with the verdicts, there were plainclothes policemen everywhere. You know, I knew that people would be very happy with the verdicts, but I didn't expect yet what happened. If I had known what was going to happen, I mean, it's not fair to say I would have voted a different way. I wouldn't have. That's not our justice system. But I would have written a note to the judge saying, I can't do this because of what it put my family through. Excuse me. So anyways, as we went out to the bus, the policeman said right away, if there's rocks and bottles, don't worry. The glass on the bus is bulletproof. And then I saw these huge mob scene. And it's the sheriff bus that they locked prisoners in. When we got to the hotel, there were obnoxious reporters everywhere trying to get some interviews. And you know all the police were trying to get our heads into the bus. And this reporter said, why are you hiding your heads in shame? Don't you know that people are dying and buildings are burning in South LA because of you? The New York Times published the values of our home. It was released on paper across the country. We couldn't pick up the phone because it was just every 3 minutes. We were portrayed as white racists. One of the most disturbing things, even the jurors said, that they got in the mail, more than the threats, more than anything else, was a letter from the KKK saying, if you need our help, if you want to join our organization, we would be happy to welcome you into our fold. And we were just like, oh no. Oh God.
That's a lot of non-resident faces here. And a lot of young people too. Was this outrage, frustration, desperation? How could you explain a need for 2 rug shampooers?
We got no recourse, you can't go to the law. What you gonna do? How do you articulate it?
When police moved in to arrest looting suspects, it was only out of protected firefighters. Only when police outnumbered looters.
Grab as many as you can, that's about all you can do.
2 men who worked at this convenience mart were certain they were going to die earlier in the night.
The robot was smashed all the windows, breaking and they're trying to back us to beat us, they ain't green. Then they're making a car and they all got us. They smashed everything, took our things, and they wanted to kill us too. They wanted to kill us. But we begged them, hey, don't do it, we haven't done anything.
Anger was heard the loudest, but a deeper feeling was a sense of hurt.
Very sad. And it's something that's probably maybe 100 years.
Many businesses that were destroyed will likely never return. So many images, but none so clear as this woman, sobbing over her lost neighborhood.
What happened moments later, the Korean merchants and store owners who own that shopping complex, they were talking to me for a moment. They said they were fed up. They walked away. Next thing I knew, they walked out of their stores. 3 of them were holding guns, and they just started firing at everybody and anybody.
We waited for about half an hour. And then my father showed up with a neighbor. He had told us what happened. There was no police officer to be found anywhere. We came back here. We started calling the police station, the hospitals, to see if anybody had checked in or to see if they fit the description. Unfortunately, we could not get any type of answer from anyone. While that was happening, one of our neighbors called and said, yo, you better get down here because there are hundreds of people at the store right now and it is being looted at this time. So we packed up our van, 4 people, 5 people, including myself, and we headed down there. I already knew that people was carrying guns. I already knew that my mother was shot at that corner. It was like going to war. That's all I can say. But by the time we got there, at this time, there are hundreds of people at our store. At this time, while I was approaching the store, I had realized that there were gunshots going on. So I pulled our van in. I was driving in between the store entrance, in between the person firing at me in front of the store. So I got out and I had a thought. I could use the van to block the bullets from hitting that person. So I yelled for everyone to stop, don't shoot. For a split second, everyone stopped. I looked up. I saw 3 people pointing their guns at me. They were so close that I could see the barrel of the gun. And I knew that they were going to start shooting. Let me tell you, I had a gut feeling. So I just ducked. And I knew that they were going to start shooting. So what they did, they started shooting at the van. So I came around the van to the back, went inside my van, got the rifle, pressed the trigger, and it just clicked because there was no bullet inside the chamber. So I went around the van, got the bullet, put it inside the chamber, and I returned fire at the ones who were firing at us. I didn't want to hurt anyone. I just wanted everyone to disperse. I guess the ones who were shooting at me didn't think that I was worth it. And they all just took off. And I just went, achoo!
Reginald Denny. And pull him out. See how the tape goes.
This is where it all started, and you heard Mark Ridley Thomas suggest that if the LAPD had come in and dealt with this in a big hurry, maybe all of this would have been avoided. And of course, the other side to that is that they were there, they knew they were outnumbered, they had to pull back for their own safety, and by policy, and that's what happened. So you've got 2 sides to what we're seeing here. This is the beginning. There's the bottom.
There is Reginald Denny. He is a man who was pulled out of his truck, kicked and beaten terribly until he was...
We have Bobby Green Jr., who I'm told is one of the men who came to the aid of this truck driver and got him out of there and got him to the hospital. Mr. Green, can you hear us?
Yes.
Were you one of the people that beat him up?
No.
All right, so that theory is out the window. Tell us what happened and how you helped this man.
Well, I was sitting home watching TV and I seen the guy all beat up, so I'm a truck driver from northern trucking, so I just got out of the car, got in my car and went over there and, helped him.
Did you have help?
Oh yeah, there was a woman right there on the door, hanging on the door, and he was driving real slow, so I told him,